This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC as it's called, in the industry.
Yeah.
Kicked off yesterday, featured Larry Kudlow talking GND.
Yeah, and he's the ramifications of what possibly could happen.
The Green New Deal would literally destroy the economy. Literally. It would knock out energy, transportation, airlines, jobs, businesses. We'd probably lose 10 to 15% of our GDP. It's remarkable.
And then open mic night, Lindsey Graham.
Lounge Lizard Lindsey.
So President Trump and I did not start off well. I remember meeting him after he got elected, and he said, "Hey, Lindsey, I don't have your phone number." And I said, "There's a reason for that."
Hey-o.
So I've given him my phone number, and trust me, he uses it. And I couldn't be more proud of the fact that he talks to me and he asks my opinion. And we've got a lot in common now. I like him, and he likes him.
Well, that's a special moment.
I like him, and he likes him. You
For-
know, the zinger line.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. There's nobody who does more dad humor than Lindsey Graham. For more on other special moments at CPAC yesterday and into today, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Julie Kelly, our CPAC correspondent, a senior contributor for American Greatness, amgreatness.com. Julie, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Lindsey Graham sounds like a good time, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's fun. Who knew?
Yeah, yeah, he was all the rage in the JAG Corps. How has your experience at CPAC been? Give us, a handle on some of the stars you're coming across. Where's Dean Cain?
It's just stars, celebrities everywhere. I haven't seen him yet, but I will say, this is the true believers from all around the country. There's a lot of young people here, which is great to see. Yeah, and I really hand it to these kids because being on a high school or college campus as a conservative right now is even more hostile than ever before. So it's a great group of young patriotic Americans. But they've got a lot of great sessions going on. This morning, Devin Nunes was speaking with Byron York and Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch. I think they've both been on your show to talk about the Mueller probe and FISA-gate. Really interesting, Van Jones, who's a CNN contributor now and worked for President Obama, he was at CPAC yesterday talking about criminal justice reform. And he talked to Matt Schlapp, who's kind of the head of the conference. And that was a really interesting discussion. So they've got some great people here and great topics to talk about. So I just think it's real energizing for Republicans right now.
Now, when does Jeff Flake speak?
He's here in spirit.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sure.
Well, who's speaking today and over the weekend then?
They've got a big lineup. The vice president is speaking later this morning, and then they've just got a lot of media types who are talking. John Batchelor and Kim Strassel at the Wall Street Journal will be speaking later today.
Oh, that's good.
Ted Cruz is here. Obviously, Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri. They have a big dinner, I think, later tonight. The president will be speaking here tomorrow morning. And so, they've just got a lot of lawmakers and media types and different breakout sessions. And what they really do is try to teach, especially the young people, how they can organize either on campus or in their communities to push, more conservative agenda and candidates. What's
the mood among attendees, yourself included, in reaction to the Michael Cohen Day on the Hill, as well as President Trump walking away from the table with Jong-un?
I think as far as the Michael Cohen testimony, pretty much everyone views it as just a disgrace. And, I think some people feel like it really backfired on the Democrats. If you saw, a lot of the comments that Cohen made were so egregious and so personal and grudge-like. And so, the fact that he had a forum on Capitol Hill in front of Congress is probably, I keep saying a new low, but I feel like I say that every week, and then, it's just another new low.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the talks with North Korea, I think there's a mixed reaction, but I think, a lot of the punditry class and even foreign policy experts say walking away from a bad deal is better than making a good deal, or trying to present a bad deal as a good deal. So I think people understand what's happening here and have some patience for it.
What about, how he was taking the word of a brutal dictator over his own intel when it came to the death of Oda Wambir?
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. I have to look at those comments again, because I only saw clips here and there, and I wanted to see the entirety of it. But look, this is where Trump gets himself in trouble, right? I mean, he's always his worst enemy. I think there's some benefit to going with your impulses and your instincts, but sometimes with him it really backfires, and you create headlines and you create, storyline for yourself that either is really egregious or obfuscates what you're trying to do. And so I think it sounds like that's one example of that.
What's the attitude toward the attendees towards Trump? Is there still largely unbridled enthusiasm and a focus on his reelect, or is anybody saying what some of the pundits have been hoping for, which is, there's a real fissure within Republican and conservative ranks, and people are willing to entertain a primary challenge and that sort of thing? Any of that sort of scuttlebutt?
I mean, I sensed a big buzz for John Kasich to run.
Yeah, right.
People really,
yeah, right.
they really want him
sure.
back.
Lighting the crowd on fire, Kasich, yeah.
His dad was a mailman. I don't know if you knew that.
But
sure. No, I think people view their potential, the Democratic contenders against Trump, and I think they're feeling much better about his reelection if he decides to run. I think there are some people who are very nervous that he won't run and what we might be stuck with as a candidate. So I think, as all the polls bear out and you talk to regular Republicans, there's varying degrees of support for Trump, and obviously different criticisms of him, which some are valid, some are not. But I think most people support him and want him to run for a second term.
Have you been able to get a up-close and personal look at Ted Cruz's new hair and beard?
I was going to ask you if he shaved the beard, which is funny you brought that up, Dan.
No, but the new hair. I want to see how the new hair came in.
I'm afraid. He's going to be there later today. I might
just take a little.
I might try to get a close-up. I'll report back to you.
All right.
See if you can see
I
the
survive
plugs.
it.
I mean, I just want to know who's got the better crop planter. Is it Biden or Cruz? Someday maybe that'll happen to me, and I'll need to know, who to enlist.
So, is there a genuine enthusiasm for the 2020 election there?
I think so. I mean, look, people are very wary and I think somewhat fearful about what's happening with the left right now. And, like you just played that clip from Larry Kudlow. I did see his presentation yesterday. There's quite a few discussions about socialism, and you see how far left the Democratic Party, not just their leadership, but their base too, and all the polling that's coming out supporting socialism and 70% income tax rates and Medicare for all and free college tuition. So I think that is a little scary, obviously, to people who have half a brain. And so, the idea that a Democratic a candidate could win the presidency in 2020 and perhaps take over the Senate, and we're looking at a country run by the far left Democrats in 2021 is a pretty frightening prospect, and it should be for everyone. And so I think to that end, they want to make sure that Trump, if he runs, is going to run a solid campaign. He's going to have good people around him. That's, I think, a legitimate criticism of the president. As we saw this week, his personal lawyer, why would you ever hire that person? But so I think putting together a good team, I think he's got a solid message. He obviously has a long list of accomplishments. Whether he is going to be able to roll that out and be effective and pick up the states that he needs to again and win, fingers crossed.
All right, Julie Kelly, senior contributor for American Greatness. Before we let you go, any other Trump family members milling about, planning on speaking. Jared, Eric, Don Jr., Barron, maybe.
Laura, Trump, anybody?
I'd like to hear from Barron.
You know, poor Barron. That's got to be a tough growing up situation. You know what? I'm looking right now. I haven't seen Don Jr., and I would be surprised if he's not. But we do. I don't see any of the family members.
Look for Kelly.
Show up with Dad tomorrow.
Look for Kimberly Guilfoyle's red lips and just follow them, and you'll find Don Jr.
I think I can see them from here.
Exactly.
Not even near the convention center.
Julie Kelly, senior contributor for American Greatness, amgreatness.com, and our CPAC correspondent. Julie, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the conference.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer.